Today, we will use a scientific perspective to explore the complex truth behind meteorological events. According to the latest news from the ABC News website, more than a dozen tornadoes broke out overnight in Illinois, Ohio, and Michigan in the United States on February 28th. On Wednesday morning, a tornado was issued in parts of the Midwest and Ohio Valley. Strong wind warning, causing serious damage. 4 of the tornadoes struck across central Ohio counties, causing damage to homes and vehicles, destroyed garages, and splintered and downed trees. The latest tornado, confirmed Thursday afternoon, moved through the town of Malaga in northern Ohio's eastern Monroe County. According to the National Weather Service in Pittsburgh, this was an enhanced Fujita-level EF2 tornado with peak winds reaching 120 miles per hour in the area of Highway 800 and Middle Road, covering eastern Ohio, western Pennsylvania, and the northern U.S. Panhandle. The timing, path length, and path width of the tornado are still under investigation. Fortunately, no one was injured in these 6 tornadoes. But the tornado caused some significant damage. Franklin County Emergency Management and the Department of Homeland Security said 6 homes in the county sustained major damage, and many others had minor damage. In Madison County, a historic barn was razed and a hangar and several small aircraft at the county airport were destroyed. In eastern Franklin County and western Licking County, a tornado flattened hundreds of trees, damaged homes, and ripped off garage roofs and twisted them in trees. In Hilliard in northwest Franklin County, a garage wall was completely destroyed by the storm. A large tree was uprooted and toppled near the Jefferson Township Volunteer Fire Department, and part of a tree fell on a truck and a car in front of a home on Reynoldsburg, New Albany Road in the area. Other trees were also damaged. Just east of the Haven Road Fire Station, a large tree was downed on power lines. The tornado moved northeast, nearly knocking down trees along Havens Corners Road, tearing through the Havenswood community along Havens Road, and tearing apart trees with winds of 100 miles per hour. The tornado continued to intensify, knocking down or uprooting trees along North Wagner Road and heading east into McCowan Road, flipping up a shipping container and sending debris flying hundreds of yards, with winds reaching 120 miles per hour, the report said. The most severe damage appears to have occurred at the east end of McCowan Road along Dixon Road, the border between eastern Franklin County and western Licking County. Hundreds of large trees in the area were cut down, uprooted, twisted, or splintered. Homes and garages were damaged in the area, and Dixon Road was closed for several hours while Jefferson Township Public Services crews cleared the large tree that had fallen on the road. As the tornado moved further northeast in Pataskala in western Licking County, the National Weather Service said the tornado weakened to an EF1 tornado and passed north of Licking Heights High School and Junior High School, but it still contained enough energy to tear off the roof of a garage and damage other roofs, windows, and trees in the area of Graham Road Southwest and Patasclamming Street, as well as some homes in Jersey Township. In addition, an EF1 tornado first appeared near Highway 665 east of the London area of Madison County at around 5:14 a.m. It began to move east-northeast to Spring Valley Road, increasing in intensity as it moved, and minor structural damage was caused. It continued toward Wilson Road with peak winds reaching 110 miles per hour. At its peak, the tornado damaged the roofs of some homes and snapped trees near their trunks, reports said. Another EF2 tornado that struck Clark and near Springfield in Madison County moved east-northeast into Madison County, tearing apart barns and outbuildings and ripping off roofs. Ohio State University's Mollica Lennon Industrial Center suffered extensive damage, with a barn razed to the ground. A tornado struck the Madison County Airport, destroying a hangar and severely damaging other hangars and littering small private jets like toys. A section of US 40 near the airport was closed until Wednesday night while the debris was cleared and removed. There were also EF1 tornadoes near Riverside in Montgomery and Greene counties, which first appeared around 4:37 a.m. just south of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. As winds reached 100 miles per hour, it damaged a hangar and sent debris flying into aircraft stored at the base. It left the base and headed east, ripping shingles off a local apartment complex in Mayer, the report said. As of Wednesday afternoon, more than 46 million people were at risk of damaging storms or wind gusts of 50 knots or more, according to NOAA's Storm Prediction Center. Unstable weather continues to disturb the state, with forecasters warning of possible rain and thunderstorms in Michigan, along with strong winds, with winds reaching 45 miles per hour in Detroit. The city broke its all-time temperature record on Tuesday, reaching 72 degrees, 2 degrees above the highest temperature ever recorded in February. Winds of up to 50 miles per hour and pea-sized hail were reported early Wednesday morning in Cleveland and areas east of it, the Weather Service said. Wind gusts reached 50 miles per hour in the northeastern part of the state Wednesday just before 7 p.m. Excess rainfall from the storm caused flooding in parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia by 11 a.m. Wednesday. The Weather Service said severe weather also occurred on the western slopes of the Appalachian Mountains, with high winds and hail on Wednesday morning. Baltimore was hit by wind gusts of up to 55 miles per hour Wednesday afternoon, and into the evening as the storm extended up the East Coast. Thank you for liking, leaving comments, subscribing and turning on the little bell. We will update every day. The ongoing storm is also bringing potentially damaging winds of up to 50 miles per hour to New York City and surrounding areas. Damaging winds along with some showers and thunderstorms are expected Wednesday night in eastern New York and Albany. Temperature records were broken at the Buffalo Airport and Watertown on February 27th, ahead of the expected arrival of cold winds. That same day, the Rochester Airport recorded a temperature of 73 degrees, tying the record for hottest February set in 1997. Historically, some tornado events have caused extremely severe disasters, affecting millions of lives and property. Here's a rundown of some of the worst tornado events. On March 18, 1925, a disaster known as the Tri-State Tornado occurred in the American Midwest. It was the deadliest tornado in American history and the longest known tornado in the world. It stretched from Missouri to Indiana, across 3 states. A total of 695 people were in danger, 2,027 people were injured, and 15,000 homes were destroyed. The intensity of this tornado was rated as EF5, the highest level, with wind speeds exceeding 320 kilometers per hour, width reaching 1.6 kilometers, path length of 352 kilometers, and duration of 3.5 hours. The tornado was so destructive that in some places it was completely wiped out and not even the foundations could be seen. On April 3rd to 4th, 1974, a tornado event known as the Super Outbreak occurred in the United States and Canada. It was the largest known tornado outbreak in the world, producing a total of 148 tornadoes, 23 of which reached the EF4 or EF5 level, covering 13 states and Ontario, causing 315 people in danger, 5,484 people injured, and more than 300,000 people homeless. The cause of this outbreak was a strong cold front meeting warm, moist air, creating an extremely unstable weather system. The strongest tornado in this outbreak occurred in Brandenburg, Kentucky, with wind speeds reaching 515 km/h. It was one of the strongest tornadoes on record. On November 15, 1989, a disaster known as the Dhaka cyclone occurred in Bangladesh. It was the deadliest single tornado known in the world. It struck rural areas near the capital Dhaka, leaving 1,300 people in danger. 12,000 people were injured and 80,000 people were left homeless. The intensity of this tornado was rated EF4, with wind speeds of 260 km/h, width of 1,600 meters, a path of 80 kilometers, and a duration of 40 minutes. The tornado was so destructive that some villages were completely destroyed and even trees and animals were swept away. In April 2011, a disaster known as the 2011 tornado outbreak occurred in the United States. It was the worst tornado month in the history of the United States. A total of 753 tornadoes were produced, 15 of which reached the EF4 or EF5 level, covering the in 21 states. 364 people were in danger, more than 2,000 people were injured, and hundreds of thousands of people were affected. The cause of this outbreak was an unusually strong jet meeting warm, moist air, forming multiple severe storm systems. The most serious day of this outbreak was April 27th. A total of 199 tornadoes occurred that day, 4 of which reached the EF5 level. It was the most EF5 tornado day on record. The strongest one occurred in Ola. In Fort Hackle, Bama, the wind speed reached 325 km/h. The width reached 2.6 kilometers, the path was 132 kilometers long, and the duration lasted for 1.5 hours, causing 72 people to be in distress and 1,500 people injured. In May 2013, a disaster known as the 2013 tornado outbreak occurred in the central United States. It was the worst tornado week in the history of the United States. A total of 84 tornadoes were produced, 7 of which reached the EF4 or EF5 level, covering it affected 10 states, causing 49 people to be in distress, more than 1,000 people injured, and hundreds of thousands of people affected. The outbreak was caused by a strong cold front meeting warm, moist air, creating multiple severe storm systems. The most serious day of this outbreak was May 20th, when a total of 29 tornadoes occurred that day. The strongest one occurred in Moore, Oklahoma, with wind speeds reaching 340 km/h and widths reaching 2.8 kilometers, with a path length of 27 kilometers and a duration of 40 minutes. Causing 24 people to be in danger and 377 people to be injured, including 7 students. The wind speed of a tornado can reach 400 km/h or even higher, making it the strongest wind on Earth. The diameter of a tornado ranges from tens to hundreds of meters, its duration ranges from seconds to minutes, and its moving speed ranges from a few kilometers per hour to 100 kilometers per hour. The destructive power of a tornado is amazing. It can knock down, blow away, break or blow away objects such as houses, trees, cars, trains, etc., causing casualties and property damage. According to the degree of damage caused by tornadoes, tornadoes can be divided into levels F0 to F5, with F0 being the weakest and F5 being the strongest. A tornado is a violent rotating column of air that extends from the base of a cumulonimbus or cumulus cloud to the ground, or water, usually in the shape of a funnel or column, accompanied by strong winds, thunder and lightning, heavy rain and hail. The formation of tornadoes requires extremely unstable air disturbances or the violent convergence of high temperature, high humidity air and cold air. When the temperature on the ground is about 30 degrees Celsius, the temperature has dropped to minus 30 degrees Celsius at an altitude of 8,000 meters. This temperature difference causes the cold air to drop sharply, the hot air to rise rapidly, and the upper and lower air convection speeds are too fast, thus forming many small vortices. When these small vortices gradually expand, coupled with violent vibrations, they can easily form large vortices and become wind damage that attacks the ground or the ocean. Tornadoes are the product of thunderstorms in clouds. Specifically, a tornado is a form in which a small part of the huge energy of a thunderstorm is concentrated and released in a small area. The formation of a tornado can be divided into 4 stages. First, atmospheric instability creates strong updrafts, which are further intensified due to the influence of maximum passing airflow in the jet stream. Then, due to interaction with winds shearing in both velocity and direction in the vertical direction, the updraft begins to rotate in the middle of the troposphere, forming mesoscale cyclones. Subsequently, the mesoscale cyclone itself thins and intensifies as it develops toward the surface and extends upward. At the same time, a small area of enhanced convergence, that is, a nascent tornado, is formed inside the cyclone. The same process that creates a cyclone forms the core of the tornado. Finally, the rotation in the core of a tornado, unlike that in a cyclone, is strong enough to stretch the tornado all the way to the ground. When the developed vortex reaches the height of the ground, the surface air pressure drops sharply and the surface wind speed rises sharply, forming a tornado. There are some steps that should be taken immediately during or after a tornado to reduce tornado damage or return to normal life. First of all, pay attention to the tornado forecast and warning information, and take appropriate preventive measures in a timely manner according to the warning level and suggestions, such as closing doors and windows, cutting off the power supply, packing up flyable items, etc., and avoiding outdoor activities or driving vehicles. Secondly, if you are indoors, you should stay away from doors, windows, and surrounding walls, and hide in a wall or small room opposite the direction of the tornado. The basement or semi-basement is the safest place to avoid a tornado. If these facilities are available, you should take shelter immediately. Go in. More importantly, if you are outdoors, you should find a nearby low-lying place to lie down on the ground, but stay away from big trees, telephone poles, billboards, walls, etc. to avoid being hit, crushed, or electrocuted. If you are in a car, you should get out of the car immediately and take shelter in a low-lying area. Never drive to avoid it, and do not take shelter in a car, because cars have almost no defense against tornadoes. At the same time, if you are hit by a tornado, you should protect your head and neck to avoid being hit or scratched by flying objects, and try not to panic or scream to avoid inhaling too much dust or water vapor. If you are injured, you should stop bleeding, disinfect, and bandage in time. If you have difficulty breathing, you should seek medical assistance in time. What cannot be ignored is that if a tornado passes, you should pay attention to safety inspections to avoid secondary injuries, such as electric shock, fire, explosion, etc. If someone is trapped, call the police or ask for help in time. Do not enter the dangerous area without authorization to avoid making rescue more difficult. If someone is missing, they should contact relatives and friends in time, or register with the relevant departments for timely search. It is worth mentioning that if a tornado causes property damage, it should be reported to the insurance company or relevant departments in a timely manner, and relevant certificates and information should be provided in order to obtain timely compensation or subsidies. If the tornado has caused psychological trauma, you should seek professional psychological consultation or treatment in time to avoid affecting normal life and work. Thank you for liking, leaving a message, subscribing and turning on the little bell. We will update the latest news from around the world every day. Continue to use a scientific perspective to explore the complex truth behind meteorological events.